doing something I was doing a while back, and as a part of the drill. Looking back, I found it back on the seated guard. It's filmed, and it was a drill that we did. It's the same thing we just did, but it was an S-mount address when they surprise you. So we're sitting here, and it's an S-mount address so that we can actually move off of them, or if they bury into us, we're able to get the knee up. So what we just did is the step-through drill. So essentially we're sitting. If he commits to one side, I'm simply gonna go here. Now I'm protecting the light versus dark side. Remember, light side is gonna be everything between the knees. If I'm tilted, it's everything between the knee to here. So I'm operating within my arc in my workspace. My dark side is everything back I can't defend. So he just moved this way. I tilt and address. As he moves to the backside, I get my nice hip escape and I tilt the opposite direction and I can address. I want that separation, okay? If I can't get the separation, let's say he moves to my left and I tilt and I address, he makes a quick snappy movement, or sometimes we even see that they just kind of pin the leg and step to the backside. So we end up having a kind of a weird step through, kind of like this, where I'm kind of in a situation where now the only thing I can do is S-mount, really get a nice extension here and address him with this following hand, because now he's really working to this dark side of my guard, my seated guard. If he insists on trying to come in, I'm simply going to go back and I'm keeping my leg up and I'm going to address him into phase two, okay? If he decides to come back around, or if he just kind of stands there, as he comes around this way, I tilt and I address. He starts to make a quick move and I make my S mount. Now I can scoot back and address him back into butterfly is going to be my second movement, right? So again, seated, the next one we'll do, he moves left, I tilt and I address. He's just going to step backwards on here. I'm going to have to S-mount. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. He's going to step back. I go to my S-mounted position here, which almost kind of gets me in a position where I'm ready to address him. And all I'm going to do is dig my toes into the mat. I don't ever want to have dead toes, dead feet. And I'm just going to push and square up. And that puts me right back where I want. Either way, in both circumstances, I'm creating enough separation that I can get my feet back in front and address him, okay? So again, the first one, he steps to the right. He comes back to the left, okay? I'm here, and now I can step away and I can separate, right? So we have two distinctly different ways of doing this. As he's around this side, I tilt it, okay? If he does decide to go around the opposite side, we have way one, and we're gonna tilt and go back the opposite direction. Again, the second one, he's coming through. I tilt. I direct him with the hand on the shoulder. Now I'm going to push away and scoot and get myself right back into square with it. Those two very distinctly different ways of addressing a threat. The S-mount position or the S-leg position is going to be a lot faster than it would to try to separate off the gate, right off the beginning, and turn. So when I drop my S-mount, it's really easy. He's moved to this side. He moved around. Now I'm just going to drop that S-mount, which is kind of like a bar. It's low, but if he continues to push back to the back side, we just spin around. Now maybe I'm coming up, wrestling up, got myself into a position to wrestle up. At all times, we're looking to wrestle up into that supine recovery we just did. Boom. Okay, so we get that separation. That's what we want to do. So let's hit our S mount, get the separation, square back up into butterfly. Here we go. 1, 2.